Hey guys, welcome to Pet Rambles. I'm Pet and today I'm going to ramble about the books that I've read in 2025. It's the time of the year when I'm going to make my lists and whatnot. I have the the books that I want to read in 2026. I'm also preparing to make some videos about my vinyl records. It's time. I've been overthinking way too long about how to do videos about music. I'm happy that at least this year I managed to, officially start this channel, and I made some books about videos and other things here and there. But anyway, one thing to note is that I might rename, the books that I want to read in 2026 more like books that are hyping me up right now because honestly I don't want to put pressure anymore on making lists and do this and so on. I will go over the books that I've read, and I will go over the books that I had on my list for last year that I wanted to read this year, because there are 15 books that I said that I want to read and I didn't. So yeah, let's start with The Witcher comic book. I actually started that back in December, but the last number I finished it, I think you can see it over here. I finished it at the beginning of January. It was okay. I wasn't expecting too much, to be fair, about those type of comic books. I think you are mostly buying them because you know the universe, you like the universe, and you want some more things there, but I wasn't like too impressed. I did enjoy it more than the Cyberpunk comic book that you see next here, but anyway, nothing too special. I'm not going to buy more. I kind of bought those last year because I was in a spending spree, and I was like, they have an offer of you have 50% off on the second item or something like that, and I was looking what to buy, and I bought that. Then Dungeon Crawler Carl 1, 2, and 3. I will put them together because Dungeon Crawler Carl, I found out about the series last year around this time, and when January came this year, I was like, okay, let's start with it. And I got the first book is like 300 pages or something like that, so I want 3 books, 900 pages in total, like in one go, and then I had to take a break a bit. And I did made a video, spoiler free. I think it's the first official video about the first official review or whatever on this channel, about books at least, about the series and why I like the series and so on. I'm not going to go over it again, but it's kind of like an interesting setting on how it's kind of like science fiction, a little bit of fantasy, a little bit of video games, things here and there. Basically, the aliens are coming on the planet, some portals open up. Whomever is not going into the portal, which is going underground, kind of like it's going to die on the planet. And the premise is that this is kind of like a TV show, like a reality TV show, where the aliens are watching us survive the floors that are, building. It's kind of like a game show. It's kind of, I think I made it, the initial title was When Terry Pratchett Meets Big Brother or something like that. I know I had kind of like a title that since then I believe that I've renamed. But it is fun, it is enjoyable, and there are 7 books that are out. And I will go later because I will speak about number 4 and number 5 a little bit later. But the first 3 were like, the first 4 were very, very, very enjoyable. But anyway, you can watch the video where I will go more into details about why I liked it. Then ACOTAR. Part of what I wanted to do this year was to challenge myself to read other things that I'm normally not reading. And I'm happy that I've tried it. I made it 60% through the book. I believe I briefly talked about this when I did a kind of like a retrospective of what I was reading in that month, February or something like that, I forgot. I'm happy that I've tried. I'm proud of myself. But yeah, fantasy porn is not my thing. If I want porn, I can just put in a movie or something. I'm not ashamed to do it. I don't have to read books because I want to be aroused. I can just get aroused more direct than spending time reading books. I don't know. I did got a couple of jokes that I wanted to do when I wanted to make a dedicated video about this, but I got some notes, but I haven't came to do it. I cannot. I mean, there are so many things that are wrong with this book. for once, it's not for me. I can get it why other people like it, so it's not for me. Let's get straight to that. But the character is like insufferable. Like it's a 19-year-old girl who has the emotional intelligence of a walnut, who's supposed to be a bit more grown up because she's a huntress and she's supposed to take care of the family. So we assume that she will grow up a little bit more, like mentally at least. But then she gets like, oh my god, I put my ass like that, and he'll have a look at my ass, and it's like, and then they are telling her, do not go there, don't go, but she's going there, and then she suddenly gets saved. Not by the arrogant guy that she kind of liked, by some other guy, and he's the most beautiful man that I want. Oh my god, I vomit every time Anyway, let's go to the next book. Ghazghull Thraka, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Last year in 2024, I've read War Boss by Mike Brooks, and I absolutely love that book. I wanted to go into more reading books, part of a lore, part of a series. Like I enjoyed in the past, I enjoyed Star Wars, and I've read very good books in the Star Wars universe, and I kind of wanted to pick a new universe, and I was like, okay, Warhammer and I enjoy orcs, and War Boss by Mike Brooks was very, very, very fun. Ghazghull Thraka, it's a book about the biggest orcs bad war boss, but it was so-so. It was so-so that I haven't even made a video. Like, it's not that I'm not making videos of book that I don't enjoy. I have one that's coming up. It's just that it had nothing, no emotion, no anger. Like, oh my god, I don't like these 2 stars because of something. It was just there. A bit of a lore book that if you like orcs that much, you're going to read that. But even that, it wasn't like enjoyable. I forgot about it, almost everything already. This is why I'm not going to make a video. Then, Terry Pratchett Nightwatch. I kind of made a mistake here, which I'm trying to recover from. I wanted to get back into reading Terry Pratchett. You can see a lot of Terry Pratchett books on top of there. I kind of went on the spending spree to get them into my collection. I was also planning to make a video on how I'm feeling like a hack, that I've been telling people to read Terry Pratchett for the Discworld universe for years, yet I've only read 4 books at the time. And the thing is that I even have like a big poster on my living room with the map of Discworld and so on. I was like, I need to get back into reading this. For years I haven't read Terry Pratchett, mostly because it was very hard to read because of his English and the way he's using words. Now I grow up more, I learn a bit more English, and I kind of understand some things better. And also I'm reading them on my e-reader, and if I don't know a word, I can tap it and then it's telling me what that word means if I still have that problem. So yeah, I've started to go back into it. But I wanted to read the best Discworld's book. People vote Nightwatch as top 3 at least, as his best work. It's also a book that came in 2002, so years into the making of the Discworld universe, so it's more refined. The problem with Nightwatch is that it's very... The character goes back in time, before the first book in the City Watch series, let's say. And he's meeting characters before they get known. So I didn't have like this emotional roller coaster or whatever, because this is the character, because I didn't know the characters. I knew some characters because I've read Guards in 2013, but I kind of forgot some of the things. So I've read it, I enjoyed it, but it didn't have the impact that I was expecting for it to have, which is why I've started to read Discworld again, and I will go back to that later. After that, I've read Star Wars Annihilation. This book has been on my list for the past 10 or so years. It's by Drew Kapshashi. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. He's the writer for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic video game that came out in 2003, which I've enjoyed a lot. And in his series, he wrote the trilogy with Darth Bane. And those 3 books I've read in 2015, I believe, they've been very, 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 very enjoyable. And I saw that he wrote another book also years ago, and it was on my list. And this year it's time, this book's time. And it was enjoyable. I made a video about it, but one thing that I will say is that I'm happy to read a book that's not, well, you know, where the main character is not a Jedi. This guy is kind of like a spy operative, and he has to infiltrate and do things like that. So that was very enjoyable. Then I've read Murderbot Diaries, Murderbot Diaries, Artificial Condition, which I believe is the second book. I've read the first one. I was explaining this. I'm kind of forgetting when I've read them here and there. But this is the second one. I've read the first one last year in 2024. They are very short, so it's like 150 pages, and I've read them while I was with work in England, listening to the audiobook and reading at the same time, and it was enjoyable. I kind of forgot what happened. I haven't made video about it anyway. I guess that I'm kind of like, maybe I will read the whole series and then I'm going to make a video or something, even that I'm kind of forgetting what's happening. One thing that I will elaborate more in the video where I'm with the book that I'm planning to read is that I'm not going to put that much pressure on me anymore. I have way too many trilogies started up, way too many trilogies that I've read the first one and I'm waiting to read the second one. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. But yeah, it was enjoyable. It's a continuation. I remember the first one that he's doing something, and this is when he needs to save the people that he's supposed to, whatever. And now he's kind of like went rogue. I mean, he ran away, and something happens. Bobber is in the other room. He's plotting something. I can hear that he's doing something. Anyway, Ship of Magic, Robin Hobb. Not going to go into details. I've made a spoiler-free video about the first book. I've also read the second book, and I'm preparing to make a video about that. I wrote the script. But yeah, Ship of Magic. I wanted to say that if you like ACOTAR, you might like Ship of Magic. No, different type of things, but it's a proper fantasy. It is a proper fantasy with characters, with, you don't know, it's not about good and evil. It's not about, I don't know who's going to win. It's not really about winning. It's just about things that are happening to some characters. So this is why it was like, I'm very, very intrigued by the characters and the way Robin Hobb, in this book at least, this is the second trilogy. It's in the same universe, Realm of the Underlings. It's not related to the first trilogy. It's kind of like in a separate thing, so you can start with this one. It's interesting to read about a character who's a proper sociopath or a psychopath, sociopath mostly, a character who has problem with his father, a character who's a narcissist, and so on. So that was a very interesting read. It took me some time to read it. It's also like volumes 2 and volumes 3 are still in print. I've read it in Romanian. Volume 1 has been out of print for ages. Like this editor, how the hell do you call it? This publisher. Let's go with publisher. Like, it's putting those volume 2 and volume 3 for sale and so on, but no one can find the first freaking volume. I found it actually on Vinted, one of those second-hand bookstores, and I paid like a full price for it, and I finally got it. I absolutely love the cover, what Adnan has done. So anyway, yeah, Robin Hobb was good. Then I've read Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi. It's the book that I put on the list on the books that I want to read last year. It wasn't an order, actually. It was just, I've seen the cover. I liked the cover a lot. I was like, I do hope that I will enjoy this book, because I want to buy the book so I can have the cover in my collection. I didn't enjoy the book absolutely at all. Absolutely at all. I have also read this book after reading, the Ship of Magic, and I can see characters there. I can see how they evolve and so on. I'm very intrigued about what's going to happen. I made a video about this book also. I gave it 2 stars out of... So this is why I mean, if I don't enjoy something, I will make a video about it. But I kind of need to have what to talk about. And I had a lot to talk about this book. It's trying so hard to be edgy and a little bit of social justice here and there, because you need to have the trans character just like that to be put there. And I don't have a problem with that, but it doesn't feel organic, and it's adding up with other things that you can feel about how the author is, she wants to write about motherhood and things like that. But at the same time, you're writing about a pirate who's supposed to be badass in her younger days, but she's not anymore. and she's still trying to do like one last thing, and she's talking about like how she has missed it. She's trying to get the whole crew back together, but everything is happening. Just anyway, I made a video about it. I started to forget things, so I'm not very coherent right now. But it was trying too hard to be a bit edgy and a bit interesting, and it wasn't. Like it didn't deliver. It was kind of like this thing where it's telling you that the character is badass, but you're not seeing why and how the character is badass. Anyway, Terry Pratchett Guards. I decided to start rereading the Discord series from the start. I made the script. I actually made the video on how hard it is for me to make videos about Terry Pratchett, and I'm getting a little bit concerned because I have the scripts written down. I just need to start recording, but if I am to speak about something that's not fresh in my mind, I cannot improvise, and the videos won't be that interesting. But I think I will just need to stop overthinking, just make it the video and put it there. And especially with Terry Pratchett, I will for sure reread the series, the book later, like 10 years from now, if I'm alive, I will reread Guards yet again, and I will find new insights, and I will make another video, and I just need to stop overthinking. And the thing with, as I've said, I made a video about how hard it is to make Terry Pratchett videos. And the thing is that the books are enjoyable. You can just pick them up and read, and you can have fun with it. You can actually laugh out loud. But they also have like social commentary in the back. It's not like in your face, like how Amina Al-Sirafi is trying to be edgy and so on. It can be very obvious, but it's not the purpose of the book. You know, it's there to entertain you. And I kind of have the feeling that I need to go deep about what this book wants to tell you about, and so on and so on. So yeah, Guards, I've enjoyed it a lot. I've tried to record the video like twice. This is also supposed to be like the video where I'm sending you in case you want to read Discord. So I've tried to go a little bit into giving some back story about what Discord is and why it is great. But yeah, anyway, after that I've read Men at Arms, which I didn't enjoy. I gave it 2 stars out of 5. It might not be the book's fault, but I'm going to stick with my decision. And I've also wrote the script, but I haven't recorded the video. I'm going to stick with my decision because even that it might not be the book's fault, I just realized this when I was reading that Terry Pratchett is not using chapters. And you read a paragraph, and then which is about this thing, and then it jumps out to the other thing, to the other plot line or whatever. And I spent 80% of this book confused. What's going on? What's the plot line here? What are they doing? And I also didn't enjoy the new characters that came up that much. So yeah, it might not be the book's fault, but I'm going to stick with it. And it's also a little bit weird because people put Men at Arms like 4 stars, 5 stars. It's in top, people top everything. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. But yeah. Then I took courage and I started The Way of Kings. Yeah, also I spent a lot of time reading, hearing the audiobook and reading at the same time. I've done this while I was also again with work in England, and I had a lot of time with myself on the train and on the hotel and so on. It is interesting. It is interesting on how it is very interesting on how Sanderson is writing. The world building is very enjoyable. It's also weird, peculiar, because this world building is kind of like science fiction, but it's fantasy at the same time. You don't have the classic fantasy tropes, elves and so on. It's like people on a planet with big canyons, however they're called, crevices, however they're called, and they are just fighting all the time. And there are, what's there, and there are plot lines. And I haven't made a video. I haven't even took notes. Whenever I'm reading something right now, I'm trying to take notes just to take the things that I want to say and put them at least on paper, and then at some time maybe put the paper out of my mind paper and put it into a video, and so I can be done with it. I haven't even took notes. It's way too much to take on. Also, like a lot of people made a lot of videos about it, and I was like, I'm not sure what else I can add, even that I don't really care about that much. I don't know. I was like, I haven't even tried. The thing is that the last 200, it's a very thick book and pretty slow, but the last 200 pages kick off really, really hard. And I immediately started the second volume. And after like 15% of that book, I was like, no, I cannot spend 40 more percent, 40 some hours on that book also. It was like what, 80 hours in total or more, reading and listening at the same time of this book. I need to read other things, which is kind of like what my point. I placed way too much pressure on me. Of all the books that I read, I want to read, and for the next year I want to be like, whatever comes to my, I will just go with the flow, whatever I am feeling there. If I felt that I want to read the second book from this I forgot how the universe is called, anyway, not Cosmere, but the Way of Kings part arc, anyway, I should just go and read it and not put pressure on me, whatever. So yeah, lesson learned. Red Rising. In 1 week, I had 2 different friends telling me about Red Rising. I was like, okay, I kind of heard a bit about before, and I was like, I'm going to start to read it. I kind of like in the mood to read some science fiction. I actually met with someone, and she asked me like, what science fiction books you read? And I kind of had a problem with like, it seems that I'm reading more fantasy than science fiction. So I was like, okay, let's go read some science fiction. And I made a video about it that I haven't finished the book. Yeah, I went to 40% of it. I was like, the video was like something like, the video title was like, when is this going to get good? Because I had 2 chapters that were kind of like identical. I don't want to go into reasons, because if you want to read it, I don't want to spoil you, but while I'm here, well, if you want to read the Red Rising and you don't want to hear, while I'm keeping this page like this, do not listen to me. When I put it down, you can resume. But it's like this character is going to get hanged, or both of them, his wife also, something like that, or she's getting hanged, and then the next chapter, he's doing something, he's going to get hanged. I was like, but he escapes and whatnot, and I'm like, I don't care about these people. I feel no emotion. I've just met those characters. I don't care that they are being hanged or oppressed. Maybe there's a good reason why they are oppressed. So it's kind of like this thing where you are being told that you have these emotional things and you're supposed to feel something, but I don't feel anything because I am not invested into those characters. Like there was no character build up. You have something, okay, this character, something happens, his wife is getting hanged. We can see that the oppression is going to, and why, the bad things that this corporation or whatever it's doing. But now the next chapter, he's going to get hanged. Like, do something different or whatever. Like didn't care at all. And then he's going to go somewhere where he's supposed to be like training, or he's infiltrating, or he's supposed to be cool. Like, I don't know. And whenever I told my friends like, hey, about this book, when is he going to get? Chippy was at least Chippy was like, oh, it's going to get better from the second book. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't want to waste my time reading a book that I find mediocre just because the second, the 7th season is really kicking. The TV show is really kicking in the 7th season. Like, it's way too much things to read, to listen, to watch, to enjoy. I'm not going to spend time because I just want to. What is going to get better in the second book? There are books who are better from the first book, So anyway, welcome back. In case you didn't want to hear the spoiler, then I read How to Take Smart Notes. I kind of went because I started this YouTube channel. I kind of went into this, not productivity in that sense. I was like, how am I going to organize my notes? How I'm going to take notes better about the books, the books that I'm reading, the videos that I want to make, and so on. And I went a little bit on this path of Obsidian. I used Notion in the past, kind of don't like Notion anymore. I was looking to Obsidian, and people who are using Obsidian, they were talking about second brain and other shit like that. And this book kept coming out, and I was like, okay, let's read it. And I put it on the e-reader, and I started to read. And I took notes. I was planning on making a video, a more complex video about this bullshit of second brain, this trap of productivity, and so on and so on. I've been to this thing before, so I'm not looking at those things from that. It's a trap, basically. I'm not going to go into details, but it's a trap because you're going to spend way too much time configuring the tool, way too much time whatever. Again, not going to go into details, but this book did give me some insights of things that I already knew, but it was a good validation. So it also depends on where you are in life. If you didn't do those things, it would be like 5 stars out of 5, whatever. For me, because I knew some of those things, it was okay that it validated some things. But also, this book spent way too much time of something that I didn't care about. Is note system on how you put notes, and it's like index cards, and then you can go and whatever. I don't care about that. So anyway. The Gates of the Feral Gods. This is Dungeon Crawler Car number 4. And I did say that as a title, Dungeon Crawler Car is getting even better. In this book, which was even thicker than the first 3, you kind of get some seeds planted for the future. It's also like you're also getting more details about the aliens or the game show, the administrators and so on, which I enjoy a lot. And yeah, as I said, the Dungeon Crawler Card is getting even better. And it was 5 stars out of 5, I believe. It was really, really, really enjoyable. I will talk more about this in a second. Then I've read Terry Pratchett's Small Gods, which is also in top 3, or maybe some people consider this the best Discworld book. It's also like an independent book in the Discworld series. You know, Discworld has like 41 books, but they have various paths, like the City Watch, which has like a number of books which are not in order. That's the thing, or that series, or the Witches series, and so on. This one is independent. It was very enjoyable, very funny, but very hard to make video because this is treating religion, and it's treating religion in the sense that basically you have this small god, the great god Om, who has been reduced to be like a one-eyed turtle, and no one can hear him. Only one guy, brother Bruda, who's at the monastery, and only he can hear them. Hear the tortoise, and that's because he's the only follower that this person is having, and it's really treating things with the Inquisition, how people are followers just because they are scared of the Inquisition. They are not true believers. They're just believers because they've been told to, and because they are scared. So it's kind of like an interesting point. But yeah, it was very funny. A lot of social commentary that I took notes, but how am I going to be coherent to also talk about the funny things, but also talk about the things that Terry Pratchett is saying, like in a substrate or something, even that it's pretty obvious what he's saying. Terry Pratchett, Feet of Clay. This is the 3rd book of the City Watch series, which I enjoy better than Men at Arms, for example. Again, one thing that I kind of figured it out right now is that the City Watch series is kind of like a murder mystery series. Like some murders are going to happen, and they are trying to figure it out what and how that things happen. It was enjoyable. It was funny, and there were some social commentaries that they are being tackled there. One thing that's very interesting is with the golems, if they are considered to be alive or not, or that was an interesting point. And it was also a character that this golem who gets into the City Watch also. He's one of those atheists are kind of like religion themselves, because if you're an atheist and you don't care about God and whatnot, you just don't care about it and you don't engage. But there are those people who atheist is for them like a religion, because for sure everybody is knowing like one person who's like that, and you start like, oh yeah, I'm spiritual, I believe in God, and you're like, and he immediately starts debating, like wow, blah, 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 blah. It's the golem. It's exactly like that. He needs to be logical and following like why the proof and so on. So that was pretty funny. Then the Butcher's Masquerade, which is Dungeon Crawler card number 5. And this is where I was getting concerned. Like all the books in Dungeon Crawler card are getting thicker and thicker. If the first one was 300 and something pages, the 5th one is like 800 and something pages. The 6th one is 900 something pages, and the 7th one is even more than that. So they're getting thicker and thicker, and I'm getting very, very concerned, because the problem with this book was, okay, the seeds that have been planted in the past, some of them are dissolving, some new seeds appear. There are too many characters. I cannot care about those characters. I forget about those characters. I have no idea. And I was reading at the end of the book, no spoilers, but I was reading at the end of the book, and I supposed to have like this emotional moment with this character who is doing something, I'm like, I have no idea who this character is. It might be my fault, it might not be the book's fault, but what I'm getting concerned about, especially because the books are getting thicker and thicker, is that the author he wants to say too much, I think. And you can see this in books, in TV shows, in everything that's being creative. You have someone who's very good at something, or a band who's good at something, and they want to scream, look at me, look how great I am, look at this. But the thing is that interesting and good things come in small doses. There are songs where you can hear like a really cool thing, but you can only hear it once in the song, or even at the end of the song. Not going to go into parallels right now, but there are cases like that. And I think this is what's happening here. He wants to say too much. So I only gave it 4 out of 5. But yeah, at the same time, even when, okay, it's finally going to end, and there are like more things and more things, like, And now I'm going to read the 6th book, because I want to read. I got all of them in hardcover. I made a video about it. They look like candy. It's like they look very nice on the shelf. And I do hope that I'm not going to get pissed off by it. So the hype is gone in a way. I've enjoyed book number 4. I've enjoyed book number 5. As I said, there's a seed that's been planted that he might want to do too much to prove himself or whatnot. I'm not sure. Like, how many things do you have to say? Why do you want to say that many things? You know. So it started from a book that's 1 volume, 300 something pages of joy and things that are going to yeah. Beat It Rufus. I'm preparing to make a video about this. I was actually planning to start to read it. It's a comic book. To start to read it again. Because there are some parallels that I want to draw. And it also generated another kind of video idea on how sometimes... Last year I took some liberties with some books because I was in spending spree. And I kind of regretted on some cases, like, oh, why did I buy this? I haven't enjoyed this. And now I have this thing, like I've spent money on this thing that I haven't enjoyed. And now I'm a little bit towards, sometimes you need to take a chance. Because if you take a chance, you can find things that are interesting. And also, not everything has to be 5 stars out of 5. You can learn things from things that are mediocre or even poor, like Amina Al-Sirafi book. So yeah, I've enjoyed the artwork. I will make a proper video about it. Then the Mad Ship Robin Hobb, the 2nd book of this trilogy, which I started in summer and I've only finished it like 2 weeks ago. And I as I've said, I did wrote a script and I just need to force myself to record. I haven't recorded a proper video like this in a couple of months, which is a bit sad. And whenever that happens, I get more conscious, more like I'm going to have problem. I'm going to hit record and I'm not going to have like a good flow that what I normally would have if I would be consistent with me recording videos. But yeah, anyway, it took me 4 months to finish the book. It's not the book's fault. It was during the summer for me. During the summer, it's harder to read, to get invested into stories and so on. And also during this summer, I bought a car, and for my first car, and I started to just drive around. So I got excitement other ways from books. But yeah, it was a very, very enjoyable book. I'm very, the story continues. Other things have happened, and I'm like very curious what is going to happen in the 3rd and final book of the series. And the last thing that I've read this year is Detective Bean's Adventures in Cat Town, which is a cute comic book. It is made for children, but I absolutely love I've also read the 1st volume last year. This year now in November, the 2nd volume came out, and I was just going to buy it because it's way too cute and too adorable. And I've read it. So yeah, this is what I've read this year, but something that I haven't put them, and they are over here. And I will make a separate video about this because I bought some. Initially, I downloaded those books on the e-reader to read it on the e-reader, but I think for poetry, it's more interesting to have it on paper, like this, and be like, let's read a poem, and just random, you read it, and you whatever. So I got this one by Billy Collins, Sailing Alone Around the Room. Then what actually started with me, okay, let's buy some poetry, was Robert Foss, New Hampshire, and it's basically this poem that I actually found about this 13, 14 years ago. And I found it interesting and weird in a way. And I was like, I do want to, okay, let's look into poetry. That was the idea. And I did some research to see what to buy and so on. And this is why I bought this one and the third one, which I will show in a second. But let me read you this. It's Fire and Ice. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice, it's also great and would suffice. I don't know really how to read. I'm very bad at reading in English, especially, and especially poetry. And I actually wanted to make a series of videos where I'm just reading poetry, and I have a script about this that I prepared, and I will maybe record it hopefully next year. But and this is why I got this. But other thing that I've read was Charles Bukowski. I didn't need to find the YouTube video. It was a guy who was doing like an essay of those really crappy Instagram poems that try to be edgy, and he was doing some comparison with that, with other poems by other authors, and Charles Bukowski came up and I didn't know about it. I was like, this seems to be like a proper dude who's struggling, so his poems must be good. And I randomly read here and then, and I found like some really interesting things. So yeah, every once in a while I have those next to my bed, and I'm like, let's pick someone up. Yeah, I do have some notes to take on, and I think that video might be interesting. I do want to keep it separate, because if the YouTube algorithm would send someone to that video, I might get some suggestions of other books, other poem books and so on. But let's look at the list of the books that I haven't read, that they were on my videos to read, but I haven't read. In the Name of the Wind by Patrick Rufus. I heard that it's good. I still want to read it, but then I was like, it's a trilogy. People have been waiting for the third book in 15 years. There are other trilogies that I want to read. I'm not going to prioritize this one right now. If I'm going to feel that I want to read it next year, I will read it, but I'm not going to put any kind of pressure on me. The Well of Ascension, this is Mistborn's second book. I have read Mistborn 2024, I believe. Yeah. And I enjoyed the first Mistborn, and I was supposed to read the second Mistborn, and if I'm enjoying the second book, I will read the third one. Didn't came to it. So yeah. Star Wars, Tron, Timothy Zahn. I enjoyed Timothy Zahn for years and years and years ago. It's his character, Tron. I was curious to read it. It's on the list. I bought the ebook. I bought the audiobook. I want to listen and read it at the same time, because they are narrated by Mark Thompson, I believe, and he's a very good narrator for Star Wars. Didn't came to it because again, it's a trilogy. Everything is a trilogy this day, and I have too many trilogies that I've started up and so on. And they keep clogging my head. The Big Daka by Mark Brooks. I've enjoyed War Boss. I want to read more. I was planning on reading those books in October for Orc-tober, and I started with another Orc book, which is a total fail. I think it's up there. How is it called? Grotsnik. It's even hardcover, and I bought it hardcover. This one, Grotsnik. I bought the audiobook also because it's that Myers. I forgot the narrator name. I will force myself to finish it, because for me it was like, let's read this one. I got excited, or book, boy, instantly, hardcover and getting the audiobook. Nothing happens. Like I've listened and read 3 hours, nothing freaking happens. People say in the reviews, oh, slow start, but it gets things very well at the end. And they rate it 5 stars out of 5. What's wrong with you? If it's slow at the beginning, meaning that it's... to be fair, I've said that Robin Hobb, Ship of the Mad Ship and so on, they are slow books, but they are not boring, which is true. but those are 900 pages books. There are characters, there are flows, there are different things that are seeds that they're being planted into, you know, what's going to happen. Here, you read and nothing freaking happens. What's the plotline? What's going on here? I will force myself, but then again, then The Lion Son of the Forest by Mike Brooks, Terry Pratchett Reaperman, I put it on the list, even that this is the second book of the Dead series. I am planning to reread Mort, and then I will continue with the Dead series, but my plan is to read all the City Watch series in Discworld, and then I will start with that. Lone Wolf and Cub. I haven't read comic books and mangas that many. So the first one I've enjoyed. I did start to read a couple of numbers in the second, but haven't finished them. So I will read it when I'm going to feel like it. The Faithful Executioner, I actually started, but then I got with other things and I haven't read. I was in the mood to read some kind of history. It starts being pretty well and pretty interesting, so I will continue with it. Star Wars X-Wing. I kind of found out that those, as I've said, I'm in the mood, Bobber. I'm in the mood to read Star Wars, and those things came up, but then again, I have so many books to read, and this is not even a trilogy. I think there are like 6-7 books in that series. So yeah, I'm going to, at some point, Star Wars The Lost Stars. I think I will just skip it. From what I've read, I've been told that I might not enjoy this book. Somehow I got a little bit interested by it, but now that it's a young adult's book, and it's about two people who are from one empire, one rebels, whatever, who are kind of like falling in love or something like that. That's what the thing that people are complaining about. I was like, yeah, it's not for me. And also my friend read it and he also like gave it 3 stars out of 5. So I was like, it's just clogging my head. I will just later, if it's going to come to it, sure. Asimov Naked Sun, I got the hardcover somewhere up there. I've read The Naked Sun in the 10th grade. I was planning to kind of reread it because it's also Romanian, so I'm trying to mix things up. Didn't came to it. Maybe later I will come back to it. Pluto, I've read the first one, the second one, maybe the third one. This is the problem that I'm going to talk about. And this year I got all of them. I have all 7 or 8 books from the Pluto series. The thing is that I kind of forgot what happened in the first 2 or so on. I am not even sure that I've read the third one. Hi, Bobber. Bobber is kind of like going around, and in the last year's video I showed Bobber to you, and maybe I'm going to be able to catch him. So yeah, I am planning to read Pluto because I bought it. It's in the collection. At least if I spend money, let's read it. Lonesome Dove, I was kind of like interested. It was plan of my year goal to read things out of my comfort zone, and I put this one on the list. And now I'm a little bit like, I already have too many things on the list. I don't want to have a list. Immune by, I forgot the name, but it's a book with biology and viruses and the immune system. It was on the list. I have the hardcover. This year I also got the audiobook, so maybe in 2026 it's going to be its time. And then The Vremea Tudor by Radu Oltean. I got it last year. I read through it. I love the paintings and so on. I like history. But I kind of forgot to read it. I kind of forgot that I have it in the collection. So yeah, this is why I mean it's like way too many things on my list. So overall, it was a pretty enjoyable year when it comes to reading. It was also, I come up to realization that I want to do too many things, too much things, too many, and I'm putting too much pressure on me. And in the next year, I'm trying to only focus on a couple of things and not put that much pressure on me also. Because which also happens with the books. I have a list of books I want to read, music I want to listen. Even that with music, it's a bit more okay because I can just go and listen to it and so on. Video games that I want to play, this thing that I want to do, that other thing that I want to do, and then I'm not doing those things, even that I'm doing other things, so it's not like I'm not doing anything, and then I cannot enjoy the things that I'm doing, I cannot appreciate the things that I'm doing because I have all the things that... Enough. So one thing that and I will speak more about this in the other video of the books that I want to read in 2026. It's still fun to do a list. But as I've said, I think it might be like the books that are hyping me up this year. And then I will see what's going to happen. And yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. See you soon. Goodbye.